Great. I'd like to call the main meeting of the Edison Public Library to order at 7:01 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
By the Open Public Meetings Act and JSA 10:0-1, adequate notice of the meeting has been provided to the public by notices given to the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger, the News India Times, posted on the Edison Public Library website and bulletin board, and given to the Township Clerk's office. Mr. Kleinman, please call the roll call.
Mr. Body,
Yes.
Miss Leary,
Yes.
Miss Mead. I know she's
She's
there. Mr. Romano.
Yes.
Mr. Di Pasquale.
Yes.
Miss Pam,
Yes.
Mr. Patel,
Yes.
Miss Singh.
Not yet. She might be on the way, I'm not sure.
You have a quorum.
Great. Okay, we are going to start off with a resolution to approve a professional contract for the firm of Hoagland, Longo, Moran, Dunst, and Dukas LLC to provide legal services for the remainder of 2025. Mr. Planning, can you please read the resolution?
I can, if I find it, you give me 1 second, because everything is in paper, and I pulled it out, but,
Sir? He can't find anything, but he's got an assistant. I gotta be perfectly honest.
Yeah, do you want this one?
Wow. That was good.
of course, I need my glasses right now. Resolution authorizing the retention of legal services for the remainder of 2025. Whereas the Edison Public Library Board of Trustees requires the services of legal counsel to advise and represent the library in legal matters, whereas a request for proposals was duly issued in accordance with applicable laws and regulations for the provision of legal services for the remainder of calendar year 2025. Now therefore be it resolved by the Edison Public Library Board of Trustees, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, that the law firm of Hoagland, Longo, Moran, Dunst, and Dukas LLP is hereby appointed as legal counsel to the Edison Public Library for the remainder of 2025 calendar year. The appointment is made in accordance with the library's procurement policy and applicable New Jersey statutes, and in recognition of the firm being the sole responsible bidder. Compensation for said legal services shall be set forth in the proposed submitted by the firm, subject to the availability of funds and approval by the library's finance officer. Certified copy of this resolution shall be sent to Hoagland, Longo, Moran, Dunst, and Dukas LLP and be maintained in the official records of the Edison Public Library. Adopted this 13th day of May 2025 by the Edison Public Library Board of Trustees.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I have a motion.
We have a second.
Second.
Any questions? Any comments? Yes.
You pretty good God, read that. I mean, really, you know.
I agree.
Not for nothing, I was a little hesitant there, but,
You did good.
Can I?
No, he's gonna kick me.
That's why he.
Was that- was
That's
that-
why
was
we
that-
put the tear between us.
Was that your comment?
Yes.
Oh, okay. We're voting on the resolution for the law firm.
Okay.
Okay. Roll call.
Ms. Kabadi,
Yes.
Ms. Leary,
Yes.
Mr. Romano,
Yes.
Ms. Pam,
Yes.
Mr. Patel,
Yes.
Ms. Singh,
Yes.
and Mr. Di Pasquale.
Yes,
The motion carries.
great.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go to the approval of, oh, yes, those are signed. Could you grab this sign right up for us?
Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Now you're allowed. We're gonna have the, approval of the minutes, April 8th. If you would please, read the summary of the minutes, thank you.
Minutes of the Edison Township Library Board of Trustees meeting of April 8th, 2025. Present, Pallavi Kabadi, Katrina Levy, Fiona Mead, Joseph Romano, and P.D. Pasquale. Absent, Jyoti Pamitimukola, excused, Shreyans Patel, excused, Rinki Singh, excused. Also present, Joseph Palmit, Board Attorney, Alan Kleinman, Library Director, Deborah Starr, Assistant Director, Amanda Coyle, Administrative Operations Manager. The president called the meeting to order at 7:02 p.m. He led the salute to the flag and the open public meeting statement was read, roll call taken. On motion and second, the minutes of the regular open session of March 11, 2025 were approved. On motion and second, the bill list dated April 8, 2025 totaling $291,535.36 was approved. On motion and second, the resolution to approve the RFP for legal services for the Edison Public Library was approved. On motion and second, the meeting was adjourned at 8:09 p.m. Thank you.
All right, can I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second,
Second.
roll call please.
Ms. Kabadi,
Yes.
Ms. Leary,
Yes.
Mr. Romano,
Yes.
Ms. Pam,
Abstain.
abstain, Mr. Patel,
Abstain.
Ms. Singh,
Abstain.
and Mr. Di Pasquale.
Yes,
Abstain counts as whatever, so motion carries, right?
okay, the approval of the March 11th, 2025 closed session, can I have a motion please?
Motion.
Second,
Yes.
okay, roll call.
Ms. Kabadi,
Yes.
Ms. Leary,
I don't think I was there.
You were-
We're gonna abstain. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Romano,
Yes.
Ms. Pam,
Yes.
Mr. Patel,
Yes.
Ms. Singh,
Yes.
and Mr. Di Pasquale.
Yes,
Motion carries.
okay, the financial reports, please.
Financial report. We're buzzing right through this thing tonight. We are pretty much on target for the first 4 months of the year. We have also, if you look at the bank balance sheet, we have just noted that we will be now requesting part of the grant that is due from the state library for our North Edison capital project. And that will actually, when I spoke to Christopher, our operations finance manager, that's actually going to be put on the statement of revenue as expenditures as anticipated revenue beginning next month, which is actually, after we did it, we realized that that's where it belongs. We are due for a second quarter allotment. Probably we'll get it Thursday or Friday this week. We are good to pay the bill list that we have. It's probably, I think it's the highest bill list that we've had in the 4 years that I have been here. We have several large expenses, all related to construction and repairs of the buildings. And it has, for the most part, the reimbursement of all of the disability refunds for 23 and 24, except for 4 staff members that we're still trying to track down, or former staff members who have moved. But other than that, those are here as well. So it is quite a, I'm gonna say Christopher kept saying, we're gonna hit it, $500,000, gonna hit $500,000, and I kept saying, no. And he said, we almost did. So, yeah, we almost did. I think we probably, once we really start the north and we have the expenditures and it overlaps Maine, expect for that crossover for at least 12 months for it to be, but it'll all be coming out of capital that will be transferred into operation. So we're in good stead. We have looked at a couple of things because the main library is not fully, we don't have enough shelving space in the main library and enough shelving space in the North Edison. We've just been buying the essentials. So we'll start to rev up for the mains reopening in September, in July, and refreshing the collection, both of the adult and the children's. For the moment, we have no place to put it if we get all of these things. So I present to you the bank balance sheet, the O&R sheet, and the bill list. We welcome any questions that anyone may have.
So, the Sharp Electronics, the conference room equipment, can you explain?
The Sharp electronics that we've uncovered so far are for the 2 flat screen TVs that are upstairs on the second floor. And the third one is supposed to be, what's the word to put it? Installed, thank you. Installed in the conference room this week. So that was the shipping, that was for those 3 things. We have been looking with Sharp for the conference room, but they're giving us a very long lead time. So we're gonna be looking at perhaps some other options than Sharp, because we would like everything in the upstairs to be done as soon as we can. And then we need to start working on the downstairs.
Okay, great. Anybody else have any questions about the bill list or any? No? All right. So let's have, is there a motion to approve the bill list?
Motion to approve.
Have a second?
Second,
All right, roll call please.
Ms. Connie,
Yes.
Ms. Leary,
Yes.
Mr. Romano,
Yes.
Ms. Pam,
yes.
Mr. Patel,
Yes.
Ms. Singh,
Yes.
and Mr. Di Pasquale.
Yes,
Motion carries.
all right, we'll move to the director's report.
The director's report. I guess I have put, for you to start the director's report, 2, late, well, one should have gone out of your packet, but one is very late. The library news in the world is a little bit different and it changes every day. So we have been informed generally, that the state funding to the state library and the state regional co-op is going to remain flat in the governor's budget this year. So given all the cuts that the governor is making, it's a good, I would say, pat on the back. He understands how vital libraries are to their communities. So flat funding these days is a plus. So that's on the state level. On the federal level, there have been several lawsuits which have stopped the dismantling of the Institute of Museums and Libraries across several different venues, some done by the Attorney General, some by the American Library Association, and other organizations. So at this point, what the state libraries have been told is they have been given half a year's budget for 2025, which they're still spending 2024's budget is the way these things go. So they were all the states were informed that they are all gonna, at this point, get 50% funding. So at this point, we're okay with that. The big push legislatively has been to ensure that in the 2026 budget that Congress is voting on now, that includes money for the IMLS. So if it includes money for the IMLS, then it can go forward and continue to work. So that's the general push. So we're in a lot better, every day the dialogue is changing. The big news was that last week, I'm gonna say probably the most beloved person in the entire library world, the Librarian of Congress, was unceremoniously fired by the White House. And so this has started a backlash across the United States, including Congress, because the person that the president had wanted to put in is a former attorney general and a friend of his and the whole bit. And there's some, as you can read in the article, some discussion, the fact that the White House would like to be able to get into some of the research and data that the Library of Congress gives to Congress, so that they have a lot more knowledge of how to control Congress and whatever. So politics is certainly not playing clean in Washington, D.C. these days. So that is the big news there. But on a positive note, I had forgotten, and Dana, our head of literacy, reminded me, we had a wonderful article published in the Central Desi Beehive on all the libraries in central New Jersey. And of course, we were featured first about how we serve new immigrants, our literacy populations, our material languages other than English. Other libraries are included here, but she spent most of the time talking to Dana. So we got good play. This is good for us. It's a very long article, but that's okay. So we were very pleased to get that, and I sent a copy of this off to the executive director of SADA today, who's a friend of mine, because he and I have tried to work on some things in promoting library service to the South Asian community around the United States. So that's pretty much it. I know everyone wants to know the building updates. Nothing different than I've sort of said in my report. The main library is moving along very nicely. They're just about ready to start. They were doing electricals this week. They're doing HVAC. Kevin has started to work on the wiring that we're going to need for the cameras and for the internet sooner than we did on the second floor. And I would probably think they're still on target for middle to end of June for the main library to the bottom floor to be done. That doesn't mean we're moving back. It'll take us at least 6 weeks to move back, but our goal is to be ready for when school opens. So we can welcome the students from next door on their new floor on the ground level, which I think they'll be happy. They have a lot more space, and the adults will be happy on the second floor, having their own space and having the quiet space. I would say it is amazing how adaptable people are, both our staff and the public. They really don't care. They really don't care. You know, I think if the library was 3 feet, they'd still come in. Hey, it's always busy. There's always people in there. I go, you know, this old adage, they love us. I don't know. They just love us. But, you know, every once in a while, they don't love us. But, we are still in a holding pattern. I'll know more on Thursday with the North Edison branch. We were waiting for the soil report to come back, and the township CME needs to go back and do some additional things for that, for the soil to be approved for the extensions. We have a meeting on Thursday, and so they're working with the township on getting a partial permit so they can start to work inside and do the demolishing piece that has nothing to do with the extensions. So I'll know a little bit more on Thursday once we have a meeting. Clara Barton I'll save the Clara Barn.
Yeah,
for you. Oh,
Yeah, but-
After we had, you'll talk a little bit more, both of you,
Yeah.
about community conversations. One of the outcome of the community conversations, was, the long-standing request we had to open up the doors upstairs at 141 Hoover. And we know that it's kind of if we open up the doors, we've got to move the furniture, we've got to make an entranceway. So we have Anthony Iavino coming next week to, look at, how he could start by at least getting that door open and getting, an entranceway in there, so that if you open the door, it wouldn't rain in the library kind of stuff. So that's a big move. And then we'll work, once that is in place, we'll work on the refreshing of the rest of this building. But I'll leave the conversation stuff to the two of you. I'm sure, you know, you have different perspectives than I do as well.
Yeah.
So, basically, that's kind of it. I'm not sure everyone has met Sherry. So Sherry is the administrative assistant to the director, but she also handles special projects. And one of the new special projects we started this week was, this is now week 2.
Week 2.
For the Seed Library, which was funded by the Friends. We had how many people so far signed up?
We've had more than 30 people,
Yeah.
which is meteoric when you consider the regular traffic and everyone coming in with their kids for regular books and things, but it outstripped our ability initially to keep up with it, but we're getting on top of it now, and we've got an in-service plan for all of the other employees among these different branches.
So we expect to roll out in the other branches in the Bookmobile Mini, because of space, Seed Libraries, and obviously North Edison, once it opens, will have a bigger space. And this probably has room upstairs for us to do something, so, we now have to do a new order, for seeds. It was fun. The first day, I think there were 3 people who came in, and it was like, oh, what's this? And they were like, oh, yeah. So it was kind of like, we were all there, kind of like the first people to check out their seeds. So that was, you know, we're looking at that as being part of sustainability and helping the community grow. The North Edison branch is going to have a rain garden. We're supposed to be working with beautiful Edison to put a rain garden perhaps out here and a rain garden at the main library, as demonstrations for people to see what it's like. So, that was kind of a nice way to get that started. Deborah, have a couple of notes?
So we have, I think I mentioned last meeting, we have a new ELL volunteer, Lorna, and she is now leading a very popular conversation group, that is always very animated and crowded. So that's great. She's also leading an intermediate English language learners class as well. The rest of the literacy department is winding down their winter spring session, and we're going to start working on the summer sessions, both digital as well as English language. We continue to have popular programs with Tai Chi and chair yoga. We had over 50 kids for the teens game day with the officers. We have 2 more planned, one this month on the 22nd and one next month on the 24th, which is a half day. So they'll have something to do when they come get out. The youth services librarians are doing a lot of school visits. The Seed Library, as you all mentioned, immediately ran out of rosemary, lettuce, and was it spinach?
Yeah.
Spinach, those are the most popular. The Bookmobile is working on a collaboration with the Middlesex County Community Child Care Solutions. And they did a nice stop for a family event with the YMCA. And I think they're gearing up for the farmers market as well. The librarians and the Bookmobile are going to NJLA the last week of this month for, which is the New Jersey Library Association Conference. And, oh, yes. Al and I had a meeting with AARP and AARP filed 125 tax returns this year. So I haven't heard back yet from United Way, but I think that's good. And hopefully next year United Way will be here and AARP will be in Maine.
And just one other note, I attended last night. We had a full house for Eva Wiener, who was on the St. Louis, which was the ship that left from Germany right before the war and was not allowed to dock anywhere. Their destination was Cuba. And then she tells the story, she was just a baby. She was the youngest person on board. We had about 55 people last night. And I would honestly say it was not our usual group. So it certainly brought out a whole different group of people. We certainly looked at that as we need to do more that kind of programming. And certainly reached out to parts of the community that I think we have not reached out enough to. So that was really very rewarding to be at that program last night. So that's about it from us. If
Okay.
anyone has any questions I try not to repeat what's in the report because you read it at your leisure.
Anybody have any questions?
I have a question, like, welcome the new addition. The Edison Library,
Thank you.
for one. Number two, can I make public comment now, or?
We're gonna have board member comments later on.
Okay.
If that's all right. All right, any other comment questions? We're good? Okay, I'll move on to the president's report. So just a few things, I just want to say, first, I want to thank, everybody sitting here at the table because there is a lot of stuff going on with the library, a lot of transition happening, just a lot of everything, and we do appreciate all the work you guys are doing, the flexibility you have to just make it happen no matter what, we have coming up. And the staff also, you guys can let the staff know that we appreciate the work that they're doing. And it shows with, as Alan was saying, people are coming to the library. When I've stopped by, I mean, it's been crowded. There's people studying, people in the computers, it's just fantastic. So as far as the Clara Barton Library, I feel, and if you've seen my Facebook post, we did get the signs on Amboy Avenue on each side going in each direction. We did get that to happen. And then at the Community Connections meeting, which went very well, it was a smaller group, but there was a lot of good comments made and a lot of good ideas. Somebody brought up right up the road, they call it the Heights. It's basically just across a piece of land, a hill area. They were talking about how that space used to be cleaner, where they used to be able to walk down so what I did was I actually contacted the township, Pat Coyle, and they met me the next day with DPW to look at that area. The one thing that I have to say is that they said it's a safety hazard to actually walk down the hill there. And I was like, they asked me about it and I'm just asking you. So that was one thing. They said, we're gonna clean it up, but we can't say, use that area to walk down. We can't do that. So what I'm also working on is right up the street, there's a temple. And they have actual steps that go to their parking lot. So I'm trying to it's been difficult, but I'm trying to get in touch with them to see if we can have permission to, I mean, anybody obviously can walk where they want, but we want to be able to say, listen, can we have permission to tell people you can walk down the steps without any issue from them? So I'm in the process of finding out who to speak to about that, just to, see if we can get an avenue for those in the Heights to be able to walk down and get to the library closer. And as Alan said, that I've heard many times, is that door, that area, people want that open, and, we're definitely gonna get them to come, you know, maybe have an outside covering or however they're gonna design it. That's definitely on the docket for us to get that to happen. Like that's something that I really wanna see happen as soon as possible because it's needed and the residents want it. So that's why we're doing that. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I'm just excited to hear everything that is happening. I mean, it's just fantastic and, you know, I think we're hearing less and less of grumbling and, you know, you get grumbling all the time. I mean, from any place and, you know, but I think we're hearing less and less because the positive is drowning out that negative. And I think that's just a testament to everybody that's involved in the library that, you know, let's bring the positive out. You hear a negative, go, well, this is happening. Let's just twist it around to a positive, you know, and I think that's something that is, it's surprising people too, because they're like, really? The library does that? Oh yeah, why don't you come down and check it out? Like, it's a surprise because people think that the library is not being used anymore. It's like, well, you gotta come down and see it. It is being used. So I think it's an exciting time in our library's history. There's just a lot positive going on.
And if I could make a note about this library, every time I usually check, if I remember once or twice a day on the camera to see if everything's okay. And there are always people in this building.
Right.
There's always people upstairs. And in fact, when we do the redesign, we currently have 3 public computers. It's not enough. So in this neighborhood, you know, our libraries are different. The main library, we have a lot of people coming in for the computers. The north, not so much, but we have a lot of people here. So we know when we redesign it, we need more than 3 public computers upstairs, which isn't a bad thing.
No.
If that's what people are coming here for, then we're doing a service for them. They don't have internet at home, they don't have computers, they don't have printing. Sorry to interrupt you,
No,
but
that's good.
it's part of
Good.
people's thing. We don't just look at every item, every
Right.
book that goes out. There's more to be a community library than
Right.
just checking out a book.
Yeah, no, and I think we're proving that with the services that we're doing and the more we can offer. Just one last thing, I don't remember when we did this, but a few weeks ago, we actually, Ellen had banners made to put on the north library fences, because people were asking, what's going on? There's a fence around the library, and they did have signs there, but somebody tore them down for some reason. So we actually made really nice long banners, put them up there so the residents know that we're doing work and to direct them to the temporary space. So, all right, so that's all I have. We're gonna go to committees. We did have one committee meet, and that was the finance committee. And Shreyans, if you can address that.
Sure. The finance committee, we met for the first time this year on Thursday, April 17th. Board President, Mr. Dave Pasquale, Library Director, Mr. Kleiman, and myself were present for that meeting. During that meeting, Mr. Kleiman provided a comprehensive review of the library's current financial position. There were no financial decisions that needed to be made from that meeting. So we'll continue having meetings throughout the year, and if anything comes up, we'll let the board know.
Great, thank you. Yeah, it was a good meeting. Alan explained a lot of the details of the budget and how the finances work and, you know, just gave us an idea of the process of how the staff, you know, works with the finances. So it was very, very good. We have no unfinished business, so we will go to public comments. I will read this.
Now I gotta remember how to.
I got something to read, so while I'm doing
Oh,
that.
you read that. I think it's.
During the open portions of its meeting, the library board provides the public with an opportunity to offer comment regarding matters pertaining to the library. Pursuant to provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, the board is entitled to permit, regulate, or prohibit public participation in its meetings. Each speaker will have a maximum of 4 minutes to speak and should limit comments to matters pertaining to the library. The speaker will be directed to conclude the remarks once the speaker time has expired. A speaker may not speak more than once during the same public comment period. No time may be yielded to a speaker by another. Speakers are asked to begin the remarks by stating their name and address. Board members are not obligated to answer impromptu questions or address remarks from members of the public during the public comment period. Speakers should expect the board to refrain from engaging in a dialogue except to the extent necessary to clarify the speaker's comment. The allotted time for speaking is the only method to address the board during the public comment period. The board will not entertain questions or comments called out from the audience. When appropriate, the board may refer inquiries and items brought up during public comment to the director or other staff for follow-up. Speakers and members of the public should at all times maintain proper decorum and shall make their comments in a civil manner.
Wow.
How are we doing?
Now
Are we good?
There we go.
He's gonna sit here and do it.
All right, do we have anybody, public comments?
You want to, no, I'll go ahead.
Perfect timing.
Can you state your name, please?
Anita, Edison Glen. Last time we were talking about in the community meeting about repurposing Clara Barton into STEM. So any comments regarding that? Because people are wondering whether the books will go up and there'll be less selection here.
Ellen, do you have any?
I think that's one of the things we've been talking about for years. We've not really had any conclusion. Probably next week, for those who live in this zip code,
Okay.
as a follow-up to the two community conversations, we'll be sending out a survey
Okay,
and looking for ideas of what people would like to see. Just because, and I'm gonna say, just because we do STEM programming doesn't mean the books are going.
okay.
So they can coexist. You know, we were never turning this place into an entire STEM, library. There isn't honestly sufficient parking to attract, 200, 300 people for programs here at the same time. So it's one of the things we want to do more, but we certainly are not getting rid of the books.
Okay.
All right, anybody else? Yes.
Pat Massey, Library Place. I actually came to talk about IMLS. So I'm very, very happy that you're all aware of it, and please tell your friends and neighbors to support this library funding and reauthorization that needs to be done by the end of September. The other reason why I came is I do believe, and you mentioned it just now about targeted emails. I know the library has the opportunity of sending out targeted emails. The people by the North Edison branch really feel like they're in the dark. It's great that the signs are up, the new signs are fabulous. Those tiny little signs that were up, I think the kids just kept on pulling them off because there are a bunch of them that are still picked up there after school from the high school. It's like the library closed in March. Obviously, you needed to empty the building, all of that. The construction, the thought was that it was gonna be starting March 17th. That didn't happen. Now we're in the middle of May. People are getting anxious, especially those people who live on Oriole, where they're wondering, okay, the building has been empty for so long. Is there something seriously wrong? Are they gonna knock it down? Are they gonna, so please send out a targeted message to that, 08820 or whatever, neighborhood, so that they have an idea of what is going on. I mean, they've been talking about the soil testing for the past few months. So it's like, come on, this is really getting drawn out. So, thank you.
Well, I will say that the soil, as I was mentioned before, that soil testing is the state that we're waiting
Yes.
for, right? So
Yes.
we don't have any control of that. But as far as targeted emails, we can only send it to the people that we have our emails that are logged into and are signed up with us. But that's something that we can
We got my
do.
zip code. You
Okay.
see, now I thought you were gonna complain about the grass.
The grass.
We gotta complain about the grass being too high
Oh.
because the
Oh, because of the fence,
landscaper
or-
can't go into the thing.
No,
So we're gonna actually have the landscaper do the grass because it's liable to be another 2-3 weeks before anyone does anything.
Right.
So we're gonna do,
No, I was
we're gonna
not
have
here.
them come in and do the grass. But that was funny because it was like, I got that this afternoon.
Oh,
Which
oh.
was, someone complained about the grass growing and they were concerned in the same thing as like, oh, is this abandoned, is it
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah, because
And
it looks
so
bleak.
we just cut the grass. But we couldn't cut the grass because technically there was a fence around.
Right.
There was a fence, you
So,
can't get in.
I will talk to Michael and we'll get something out.
That'd be great, that'd really be.
Do you think we can do that in the next week or two?
Yeah, I mean, we'll do a nice note, like a note from the director.
Yeah.
To,
Yeah.
Dear North Edison residents, we'll just send it out to the North Edison
Yes,
residents.
yeah, that'd be great.
Just to let you know where we are. And I would say, even though they haven't worked, there's still a zillion things that's actually being done. I mean, you don't realize, and I didn't, I've done projects, but not the similar one to this, and we were building this way. So the soil has to be tested, the concrete gets tested, the steel gets tested, everything gets tested,
Mhm.
before they even touch anything. So they have actually been doing all this background paperwork that they've been doing. The fixtures have to be ordered, the frames, the door frames have to be done. All of that is actually been ongoing. And we have been meeting every other week, for them to keep up with the architect, with with our owner's rep, with my own foreman. The architect, the owner's rep, the construction company, they've been meeting and they actually have been working. So whether this would have happened later along the train and they're doing it all up front because they have the time, it's still all gonna have to be done.
Right.
So
I think it's, it's more the communication, I think that's.
Yeah.
Probably will solve that, we'll get the word out there by just sending the email, and if you need to put in there, the building's not closed, whatever you need to put in there to make it, to make it. Understand that we're working on it, it's just, we're being held up by the state and there's nothing we can do about it, so. All right, great, thank you.
I have some input.
Okay.
It wouldn't be nice to have a sign saying that we are coming back with a renovated library that would, people will feel
Well,
more
we
positive.
do have signs there already.
It does say that.
Yeah,
we're
well, it
coming
doesn't say
back soon.
renovated, but it says that we're renovating, it says we're
It says
renovating.
we're renovating.
Yeah, it does,
Right.
yeah. Yeah, no, we have big long signs there on the fence.
we have real, banners up there, professionally done banners that were done.
Can we,
That are getting beaten by the wind.
yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else we could put there.
I mean,
Another sign that says, that, I don't know, a color sign that says something. I don't know.
First twice it was dark in the evening, so I didn't see the sign.
You know what, maybe, 2 other signs that either have a proposed picture
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Something
Alright, I'll
that's
talk to
a
Michael.
colorful
Yeah.
sign, just,
And we could
You know.
put there's plenty of fence space.
yeah, that's
We
what I'm
could put up
saying.
3 more signs
Something,
that show kind of the picture of what the
Yes.
outside's gonna look
There you
like.
go.
Yeah.
That might help everyone
Exactly.
feel a little bit
yeah,
better.
I think that'll work.
Yeah,
All right,
that's not a
let's
big
work
deal.
on that. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Exactly
Yeah,
like
no,
when
good
you see
idea.
the apartments are being renovated.
Yeah.
They put a
Yeah.
beautiful sign.
Yeah,
so-
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, great, fantastic.
It takes about a week to 10 days to get those done, so.
Okay,
Well, we'll be positively be able to report on it at the next board meeting.
sounds good. All right. Anybody else?
Things get
Whoops,
slow,
sorry. Okay, anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sarah Nasser, Pleasant Avenue here in Edison. I do have a couple of points. First, the Sea Library, it's amazing that they get to get that started, and hopefully, all of this rain that's happening in May will lead to some beautiful plants coming in June, as we get started with these plantings. And then with the, community conversations that we've had with Clara Barton, like it was noted, we had a smaller group the last time around. However, there were a lot of different ideas that were coming from there. One of the ideas, I mean, I'm definitely not for it.
No, that wasn't you, that was me.
So one of the conversation pieces that was happening was potentially a food festival along with like a book sale that the Friends can help organize with the library. So that's something that we're interested in putting together as the summer comes to be and trying to find a date. So I know that I've gotten several emails, when's our next book sale gonna be? There's a lot that goes into these book sales, so we're trying to find a lot of volunteers that can help with this, as well as trying to find a date and coming through. So more to come on potentially a food festival with a book sale coming this summer or later through. Additionally, when we have the main library open, we're also going to be putting together a friends membership only event that we'll be working with the library to put together. So a lot of good things coming through. Lastly, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, as well as Asian American and Pacific Islander Awareness Month. So I know that the library is doing a lot of different events here. So if you haven't seen or participated in any of these things, please check it out. We still have, I don't know what, today's the 13th, 17, 18 more days left in the month. So come out to the libraries and see all the different things that they have posted and the activities that are coming through. Last technical thing. So I went to the temporary library that was coming there. The same way, can we have some signage that says this is now the library? Like, is there anything that, I don't know, like, I know we're leasing it, but do we have the opportunity to say something like library that way? Or something in that manner?
The landlord is responsible, for putting the signage on that big pole.
Yeah.
We did send him, I guess about a week to 10 days ago, a mock-up of what he needs. It's his sign maker that gets that, put out on the kiosk. So we do have restrictions with the lease of not being able to put things on the lawn and do any of that stuff. So yeah, it's
So we
kind
put
of a
something on
little.
the door?
Hmm?
Can we put something on the door? Like,
Only
itself?
No, we can't put anything on
Not
the
even on the
doors
building?
either.
Okay.
We only, there's a directory inside that says Edison Library 102. On our door, it says, that, and I think once the thing on the outside shows the library and the logo, I think that will help. But, and like any kind of communication, you could send, it's always on the banner of our website, on the top of the address. The best way of communication is word of mouth. Is tell your friend or bring a friend there with you and they'll know the next time exactly where it is. I mean, for anyone who knows anything in Edison, if you say to them, it's the office building right outside, I saw that, right across from the Edison Family Restaurant, they know exactly where it is, because that was the landmark.
So they won't allow us to put a banner on the front desk.
Not according to our lease unless we,
Ask them?
well, that would be something for our attorney to take care of.
Can you check that out?
I can check that out.
I mean, even if it was a small banner, it doesn't have to be a 10-foot banner. Yeah, or a sign, I mean, not a sign to put in.
Since they orchestrated the lease, I think it's probably.
Yeah,
There were definitely restrictions on
Right.
signage, so I'll double check
Yeah,
and see
just-
what we can do.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I'll
worth
take
a
a
shot to ask.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
he's
just
gonna
having
check
like
with,
a little bit of a sign.
yeah, he's
like
gonna check with them to see if
Arrow
they can do
pointing that
Yeah.
way, kind of
that.
a.
Something, see if
Yeah.
they'll allow it, you never know.
Yeah, just because like the first time I went in there and I'm like, I'm looking around, just making sure I'm in the right
Yeah,
place.
no, it's worth asking, so, cool. Anybody else? All right, we're gonna close.
There's a request from a couple of parents.
Okay,
If you can add more high school SAT, ACT books and AP books in the more copies.
okay, great, thank you. All right, we're gonna close public comments. And we do have to go into closed session. So I'm gonna read it. Resolution of the Edison Public Library Board of Trustees authorizing an executive closed session pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. Whereas the Open Public Meeting Act permits a public body to exclude the public from meetings or portions thereof wherein matters to be discussed are exempted from the requirements of the act. And whereas the act requires that prior to holding a meeting or portion thereof from which the public is excluded, the public body must adopt a resolution in public that provides for the holding of a private meeting. And whereas the Edison Library Board of Trustees has determined that a meeting should be held from which the public is to be excluded to discuss subjects exempted under the act. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the Edison Library Board of Trustees that it meet in executive closed session under the Open Public Meetings Act in order to discuss collective bargaining and ongoing contract negotiation. Be it further resolved that the minutes of the executive closed session shall be made available to the public after the official action on the subject matter has been taken. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Ms. Kabadi?
Yes.
Mr. Romano? Here. Yes. Ms. Pam?
Yes.
Mr. Patel?
Yes.
Ms. Singh?
Yes.
And Mr. DeMasquale?
Yes. All right, so we will be taking action after this closed session, so, it shouldn't be too long. We don't have a lot to discuss, but we'll let you guys know, okay?
Thank you.
All
Little steps in.
right, you're okay. All right, we have two resolutions that we're, gonna.
Do you care which one we start with? The first,
You've got to go back into open session.
We did.
We already did.
We did that.
waiting for you to walk in.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
The first is a resolution of the Edison Public Library Board of Trustees authorizing execution of collective bargaining agreements. First paragraph, whereas the Edison Public Library, the library endorses the practices and procedures of collective bargaining as a fair and orderly way of conducting its relations with employees. And now therefore be it resolved by the Edison Library Board of Trustees, the board, that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the collective bargaining agreements, as amended and addendum between the library and union, thereby authorizing a representative for the board to execute these agreements on behalf of the board.
Do
Motion,
we have a motion?
motion,
Second,
Second.
second?
motion and second.
Roll call.
Okay, wait, I'm just marking the motion because the little boxes here. Ms. Leary,
Yes.
it's out. Ms. Pam,
Yes.
Mr. Romano,
Absolutely.
Ms. Kabadi,
Yes.
Mr. Patel,
Yes.
Ms. Singh,
Yes.
and Mr. DePasquale.
Yes.
Motion carried. Second motion. Resolution of the Edison Public Library Board of Trustees authorizing settlement of cases arising from issues with State of New Jersey Temporary Disability Program. Whereas on March 11, 2025, the Edison Public Library Board of Trustees, the board resolved to provide back wages for 2 library employees that applied for temporary disability, their benefits in 2024 and were denied. And now therefore be it resolved that the library board authorizes a representative for the board to enter into settlement agreements with the 2 employees on behalf of the library board with any changes that library council deem to be necessary to protect the interests of the Edison Public Library and the board itself.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to accept.
Second,
Second.
roll call, please.
That makes it easy. Check box. This end of the table, that's very accurate. Ms. Leary.
Yes.
Ms. Pam,
Yes.
Mr. Romano.
Yes.
Ms. Kabadi,
Yes.
Mr. Patel,
Yes.
Ms. Singh,
Yes.
and Mr. DePasquale.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Alright. On your business, we're going to library board member comments. Does everybody have? Let's start.
Just, and make a note on January 2nd, no, excuse me, June 2nd at 10 a.m. Edison Township and the Edison Board of Education invite everybody to come to JMI class of 2000. The greater community, a 25-year time capsule will be open. So, everybody at 10 o'clock in the morning, if you'd like to go, actually, you can get this on the board website. It's actually there. Number two, we have the Edison Township Public Schools. It's called the Insider. You can find it on the website. It is full of all of the information, superintendents. It's really an interesting read. Also, we have the superintendent's weekly update. Some of this is, we have a board meeting coming up on Thursday. It'll be at the Ed Center. It'll be starting at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, and we will go into immediate closed session. So if you want to come, you can come and watch us come into session, and then we're going into closed session, and we probably won't be out till 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Oh, well,
And then,
that sounds appealing.
yeah. And then, we will keep you informed. We will be having another meeting, which will be an open session meeting at, on Tuesday. So this Tuesday coming up. And the location actually, I think, is on the website now. So keep informed, watch the website, keep informed about certain things that the Board of Education is doing. We have construction projects ongoing, like your construction projects at the library. We have, bid openings next Thursday for, JMI, and bid openings next month for John Marshall. And, we have plans to take and start looking at Edison High, expansion at Edison High. The budget is a 0. The year 25 until 26, the budget is a 0. Don't let anybody kid you. We're not losing any programs. None. Everything's going along as planned. Across from Menlo Park, we have a facility now. That facility takes care of special needs students, not elementary students, high school students that have issues. We do it now in-house. We'd like to do it more. We'd like to expand it. Right now, we have 14 students exactly, okay? We will be bringing in or keeping back in the district $1.8 million. Every time we have to send someone out, it costs hundreds, even hundreds of thousands of. We can do it now in-house. People have been talking about the 0. Just want you to understand. We're doing everything we can to keep it that way. We will do expansions on the FDR building. That is coming. There'll be expansions across from Menlo Park on that facility. Understand, everything is limited. We would like to take and put air conditioning in some schools. It's an expensive proposition. Honestly, the high schools, yeah. The elementary schools, absolutely. But we can only do what we can do, and we're watching our pennies. And yes, I voted no on the budget. I will let everybody know, I did vote no. I will be voting no on Tuesday. So anybody that understands, I will be voting no again. I honestly believe that no is the right way to go. And that's all I can say. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate the comments. Anybody else?
Just one quick thing I wanna
Yes.
say for the signage out in Clara Barton, what you mentioned too, that pathway. I
Mhm.
wanna give a shout out to our Department of Public Works. You
Yes.
know, I think they do great work and, you know, spring season is right here, so the work outside especially picks up. So, you know, we're thankful to have all those people. And, you know, Mr. G. Pasquale and Alan, you know, thank you guys for coordinating with us for that signage as well. I'm glad we were
He
able
was,
to.
he was the key. That was, he wanted to make sure it got done.
That's right.
So,
I'm glad I was able to come to fruition, so thank you all, and special shout out to Public Works again.
Ditto on that, as always.
Amboy Avenue.
Yes,
The construction on Amboy Avenue will probably start in 3 to 5 months. The manholes that people keep hitting, it happens. The manhole covers are 2 inches, no, a half inch thinner. And with the bumping, the manholes are sinking. That's one of the big things. The issue on Amboy Avenue, they have to take, there's, projects going on that are actually in the works now, that there's some drainage that they have to replace. So please beware,
Talked about it last night at the council meeting.
Yeah.
I watched it already.
please beware to make sure you let everybody know, like signage that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Let everybody know that the repairs are coming. It's something that, you know, you don't do overnight, but we have to make sure that the job that we're doing is gonna last a long time. Not just take and just to do it, and then 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road, like they did it here before, now there's a problem on it. We wanna make sure it's done right. That's what's going on with Amboy, and that's what's going on in our schools. Please, just keep focused on that website, and you'll see. And yes, graduation will be coming in June. Thank God.
great.
I have to say, I do watch the council meeting, obviously, in the Board of Ed meeting. I'm very impressed of all these new initiatives, of all these new programs that the Board of Ed is starting next year. And I am gonna reach out to Dr. Ray. We're overdue for a meeting. We haven't had. one.
Actually, I know it's gonna happen in 2 months, 2 weeks, but you didn't hear it yet.
Because I think there's some ways that a lot of those students could use the library as intern possibilities.
Yes.
And so we really would like to work with them, more. And Dr. A reached out when we exchanged, how could we fit it better into the strategic plan? And I think we could act as resources for the students, act as places for them to have some practicum, with all these new initiatives they're doing. I think that that's a good role for us. And we're in the neighborhoods and we certainly would like to work more with the schools.
Please visit the website. There's so much going on.
I get that big thing. I'm on the mailing list, the big one. I look
Yeah.
through it, yeah.
Please, just,
The
the Board of Ed is wanting to do, but we need help. We need help getting it out to the public. Okay? And yes, the senior citizens, without a doubt, you have to let them know. Go to the website, come here to our website. Fact of the matter is that we have programs. And yes, and how long is it gonna take? Well, it took 37 months so far to do John Adams and JB Stevens. It took 37 months. Soil samples are insane. Because if they don't do the right testing and they don't build the right foundations, they sink. So we do soil samples to make sure it's done the right way. It takes longer. It's They compact the soil, it's like with concrete, we take and we pour cones, we pour them, and then when they dry, we take and we bring them to a facility where they test the strength of the concrete. So until they do that and get the testing done, that's what takes so long. It cannot be done any other way, any other faster. It's done that way for a reason. We want to make sure that if we build a facility, even like at the library, that we build a facility, that the facility will last a long time. We have schools that are 70 years old. And they're not falling apart because they're built right. The new schools, yes, they're built to last. You're spending money, our taxpayers' money, everybody here, taxpayers' money. The fact of the matter is, if I build something and I, like a 30-year bond, it has to last 30 years before we have to put something else on, another addition. So we do it the right way. It just takes time. Please, let your people know, that's what we're doing. I know it takes a long time. But if you ever make a pot of stew, it takes a long time. Have a nice day.
All right. Motion to adjourn. I have a motion?
Motion, I get drink more.
Second.
Motion.
Everybody, aye?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you
Thanks for
all.
the announcement. That was awesome.
Thank you.